More financial help could be on the way. President Trump says he's open to working with Democrats on a second stimulus package to help the economy, which could be voted on tomorrow. We know there's a lot of uncertainty right now when it comes to your money, and we want to help you get the answers that you need. Financial expert Andrew Poulos joining us live again to offer some insight. Last I saw you was yesterday during our noon broadcast, so thank you again for waking up bright and early to join us for Morning Rush. Just a reminder, folks, you can text your questions to 404-885-7600. Please remember to include your name. And what specific question? I mean, there's a lot to deal with here, Andrew. We have unemployment questions, dealing with the economic stimulus package, small business questions. So let us know specifically what you want to know about. Let's start with Raheem. Andrew, he wants to know, when will the small business Paycheck Protection Program applications be processed? This is a good one.
Good morning, Sheba. Always good to be back on. Now, Raheem, the Paycheck Protection Program loan packages are in the works. We actually, surprisingly enough, we're seeing banks who are working on them. That was actually one of the things I was working on here this morning before we went in there. So I can definitively tell you that banks are working on them. Now, their turnaround time will all really depend. It's a case-by-case basis. So when they begin to ask for documentation, the more organized that you can be, the quicker they're going to get processed.
Which banks are working on them? Because I know some are not ready, Andrew. Can you?
Yeah, the ones I've seen as of yesterday and this morning, Sheba, are Bank of America and Ameris Bank. Ameris is a smaller bank. Bank of America obviously is one of the large national banks. So those are the two that I can definitely tell you. Some of the other ones like Chase are accepting applications, but as far as actual processing them and me seeing information from them for our clients right now, those are the two that we've been working with since yesterday around the clock.
Okay, our next question, we hear this one a lot, people on disability. So this person asks, I am on disability, so I never file taxes. Will I still get a direct deposit of $1,200 into my bank account associated with my monthly disability income, or do I have to file a $0 or dollar tax return in order to be eligible?
Yeah, there's been back and forth on this with the Treasury. So as it stands right now, folks on disability do not need to file that simple tax return that they were telling us last week. So he won't have to do anything right now to be able to get that money. And if his disability goes into a bank account direct deposit each month from the government, then that should be the way he's going to get his money at this point too. So that's what we have as of today.
Okay. Lisa asks, if I owe the IRS, do I still get a stimulus check?
Great news for Lisa. Yes, she does. You owing the IRS is not going to prohibit you from getting a stimulus check. That has been verified, so we know that for a fact right now.
But can you explain how it impacts us next year?
What we're hearing right now is that it's an advance of our 2020 refund. So folks need to understand that this is not free money in a sense. The government is actually giving you an advance on your 2020 refund. If you owe next year, supposedly you're not going to have to repay this, but this is an advance. So if you owe $1,200, if you're going to be getting $1,200 on your 2020 return next tax season, then it would offset against that. So that's the latest that we have right now. Again, everything's fluid. So between now and next tax season, who knows where we'll be at.
Claudette wants to know, is there anything in the stimulus package for landlords that aren't receiving rent payments? I have a commercial property that I lease out.
Yeah, a great question, because there's a lot of landlords out there, obviously, who are being impacted as well. The best that I can tell right now is that the EIDL, which is a loan program that goes through the SBA website, so you need to go directly to SBA.gov. Please be very cautious. There's so many scams going on right now, so don't go to third-party websites. Go to SBA.gov and apply for the EIDL, which is an economic injury disaster loan. It's up to $10,000. Other than that, traditional loans are still available, but that's the one that's part of the stimulus right now.
If I receive Social Security and don't file taxes, am I eligible for the stimulus check? This sounds like the same sort of question with the disability.
Exactly. We've been getting a lot of those, Sheba. Obviously, folks who are on disability and retirement are concerned if they're going to qualify, and they are going to qualify for the $1,200. They don't need to do anything as of right now. If you would have asked me a week ago when we had this discussion, I would have told you they'd have to file a simple tax return. But right now, the Treasury's come back out to try to keep things simple and said that folks on disability and retirement aren't going to need to file anything to get their $1,200 stimulus.
Is there, that's the last of our questions, Andrew, but before I let you go, you know, you and I have been doing these live Q&A sessions for several weeks now, and the questions all are, you know, pretty much the same with disability, Social Security, when they're going to get the check and how much. Is there something that our viewers haven't thought about that they should know about this morning?
Look, I've often I tell our clients my phone's been ringing off the hook, obviously, understandably so. A little bit of patience. Right now, I would plan on, figuring out how you're going to be able to pay your bills, put food on the table for the foreseeable future. I don't think we're going to be back to any sort of normalcy in the next 2 or 3 weeks, honestly. And as scary as it sounds, we need a plan for that. So the question for everyone should be is what happens after you get this $1,200? If there's not another go around, or if it is, you're relying on government. So I'm the kind that doesn't like to rely on government in a sense, and I try to plan, and I think I encourage everyone to start kind of planning for the next 60, 90 days, because we may take that long before the economy actually comes back and is revived.
Very hard to plan when all of this took us all by surprise.
Yeah.
Andrew Poulos, our financial expert, thank you again for your expertise.
Always going to be on, Sheba.
All right, have a great Wednesday. Chesley, let's turn it over to you.